Thank God. The pain and agony of watching Artemis Fowl is over, and now I've watched a good movie. The Five Bloods, the latest Spike Lee joint. Let's get in and review it. The Five Bloods, Spike Lee's follow up to Black Klansman. If you don't know the story, it's about four Vietnam veterans that are going back to find some gold, but also to find the dog tags of their fallen soldier, Stormin Norman, who's played by Chadwick Boseman. And, that's the setup, Treasure of the Sierra Madre style setup. But this movie is so much more than that. And it's like, it's insane how it's the right movie to come out at the right time, at the right moment. The world we're living in right now, we're having the Black Lives Matter movement resurgence, and we're seeing this huge change right now in America about how black people are treated in America, not only by police, but systemic racism and just like casual racism and examining people's white privilege. I myself examining my own white privilege, but this movie is not about white privilege. This movie is about how, for almost, I would actually say the entire existence of since slavery 400 years ago, black people in America have been taken advantage of, especially when it comes to like war. And in the Vietnam War, it's explained in this movie that, at the time, America, 11% of the population was black people, but yet in the war, it was like 30 something percent of the soldiers were black. And, that's a very disproportionate thing. It's like, same thing with COVID, is like disproportionately black people are being impacted by COVID more than white people. And so you see these problems and they're not being taken care of. And so this movie, The Five Bloods, not only goes into the pain and agony of being like a Vietnam veteran. A lot of them deal with PTSD, or they've had relationships while they were there and they have long lost children they don't know about, but also just the pain of like being black in America and going to war is just like, it's just like stacking one pain on top of another pain. And I think Spike Lee, he's known for doing these films where he examines race relations in America. He examines the politics of everything. And this movie is just wonderful. It's not as, I wouldn't say as polished as Black Klansman, but I think it's the right movie that America needs to see right now. And one of the characters is played by Delroy Lindo. Paul, he's a Trump supporter, and Spike Lee hates Donald Trump. That's clear and open. We all know that. But what Spike Lee likes to do in his movies, he likes to examine like these people that he doesn't agree with, and he tries to find not the humanity in them, but find like where the problem is, what led to that moment for them. Like, what's the inciting incident that makes Spike Lee not like this person? And so we go back, and this Paul character, even though he's not the main character, he's sort of the focal point of the movie. And y'all, Delroy Lindo, he crushed it. I know they delayed the Oscars, but they have to give Delroy Lindo an Oscar nomination for this. He is just the best in this movie. He explains the pain of not only being a Vietnam veteran, but he explains the pain of being a black man in America, raising up a child by himself after his wife died in childbirth. Just everything that you can feel about this movie is through this character. And it's very much like it's very much like a play in some ways, like because he's talking directly to the camera at one point. Oh man, it's just Delroy Lindo has just crushed it in this movie, and I can't say enough about it. I wouldn't say it's Spike Lee's best movie, because obviously I think Black Klansman is the best, and then there's probably Do the Right Thing and Mo Better Blues and a few others, Malcolm X obviously. But this one is up there with those. I don't know where I'd rank it yet, but it's such a message that we in 2020 need right now that it's just like it's a perfect encapsulation of what the Black Lives Matter movement is about. The moral of the story in The Five Bloods is that Black lives have always mattered. For 400 years, they've always mattered. You know, slavery, the stupidest idea ever. The 13th Amendment is basically slavery in prison. And you know, all these things that there's all these hurdles that black people have faced in America, and yet they keep hurdling over them. They keep moving on, and it's just the performances in this movie, they're just all great. And you know, I can't say enough good things about it because it's just good. You have to watch it. These are one of those movies you have to watch in the moment that you're seeing them. And that's what's great about Spike Lee. He captures these small moments in time in his movies. Do the Right Thing is a very influential 80s movie that everyone needs to see. But also, like this, The Five Bloods is the Black Lives Matter movement. It's just going to help it. It's just going to further help people understand and hopefully sympathize. And hopefully people that are like, all lives matter, will understand, like, when people say Black Lives Matter, they're not saying that all lives don't matter. They're just saying right now we need to establish that Black lives matter as much as white lives. And we need to respect that, and we need to find ways to make sure our laws represent that, and also our police force and everything. I know that's basically my opinion, and you know, this is what am I saying? This is what movie reviews are. It's people's opinions, okay? And that's what my opinion of this movie is. And if you don't like it, sorry. If I had to rate this, I'd rate it 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 Spike Lee movies. Can't come up with a good rating right now. It's just 8 out of 10. It's worth a watch. It's right now, it might be the best movie of the year that I've seen. I know we got 6 more months to go, but that's it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I love this movie. I love Spike Lee movies. Inside Man, Malcolm X. I could just list them all. I could list all his movies, and they would be good in my opinion. I've not seen all his movies, but here we go. And now I'm just rambling. I'm pulling the book out of JD's book. I just started rambling, and I can't stop. So this video is just gonna end.
Un esercito di prodi